I guess introduction wise, if you don't know much about me, maybe just check out my social media. I do have also one of the top entrepreneurial business self-improvement podcasts in the world. I just announced the deal that I've done with Sirius and Stitcher. It's the second biggest podcast deal that's probably ever been done other than Rogan. And so I have a highly listened to show. Dean was on this week. Michael Strahan's on. Next week's Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank. The following week is Mark Cuban. The next week is Joel Osteen. So I have some really interesting guests that we sort of, conversate together about life. And it's more like listening to two successful people than just an interviewer and a successful person. It's sort of a cool dynamic the way we do the show. I made my chops as an entrepreneur, and I've got a multiple 8-figure net worth. I've got a pretty large net worth, 9-figure, excuse me, building teams. So my first business for 2 decades was a version of a network marketing business where I recruited and built a very large team of people. And so my forte is in developing, recruiting, building, and developing people. That's my home. In fact, I was just on a call. The reason I was a couple minutes late was I was actually consulting for a network marketing company right now and doing a call for them. So that's sort of, the place that I feel the most comfortable and the most home. I've got tech businesses. I've got a candy business. I've got a nutritional company, a chip business. I've got a medical device company. I've coached people from around the world, athletes, entertainers, politicians. 6 a.m. this morning, I was on a call with someone that I coach, used to run a country, pretty big one. So I've got a great life. I've got a really rich life. I learned all those lessons though in building teams and interacting with people. And so I'm just a big believer in what you all do. I believe that it's the greatest business model that's ever been created, and there's nothing even close. And by the way, and then I believe the winds are at our back. I believe now with the advent of this technology, you take a recruiting and building business model, you strap onto that a good product and concept, you got something. You strap onto that technology where now you can, in a flash of a second, talk to anybody you want from anywhere in the world at any time you want to, and you have the convergence of the greatest business model by far that has ever existed before. And I'm going to talk about that at the conference in great detail. I'm going to elaborate to you why I believe that's true and why I think you're looking at maybe 1% market penetration for the industry over the next 10 years. I believe it can grow 100-fold. I actually believe that. And I think I'll prove it to you. I think you're going to find that more and more people will gravitate to this business model because of the incomes we can make without the overhead, without the leverage, without the debt, that businesses that require that debt, leverage, and overhead just don't produce anymore. They just don't produce. And pandemics can put you out of business real quick when you're in those other businesses, and they don't do anything negative to us. In fact, the winds at our back is more people want to work out of their home. So even when adversity hits, we're better. When the economy's bad, we're better. When the economy's good, we're better. So man, we're agile. So what I want to talk about today, obviously, I believe the number one thing you gotta do is grow yourself. So I'm going to just touch on that, and I'm going to give you recruiting and building tips. That's what I want to do today, just for a few minutes, and Eric and I can go back and forth, and I'll give you a challenge as well. But I want to talk to you a little bit really hardcore here about recruiting, because that's sort of what I had prepped to do. But before I do that, I just want to say one thing. You have to grow you. Why? Your identity is the thoughts, concepts, and beliefs that you hold to be most true about you. That's what your identity is, okay? And I can give you the greatest business model, the greatest products, the greatest mentors, the greatest access to everything I possibly can. And let's say that I give you identities like this, better said, identities like this thermostat sitting on my wall right here. It is set at 72 degrees right now. It's a thermostat setting. You know what controls the setting of this room? That thermostat. You know what controls the setting of your life? Your identity, period. Not outside conditions. I'll prove it to you. If it's 100 degrees outside and hot air is starting to blow into this room, do you know what happens? This room doesn't become 100 degrees because I got a thermostat. The air conditioner kicks on and cools this room right back down to where it's regulated to be set. Also true, if it gets really cold and freezing air is blowing in here, the heater turns on, it heats it right back up to where we're set. That's how your life is. Your identity is that thermostat setting. The external conditions have absolutely no impact long-term on your life. None. But that thermostat setting has everything to do with it. And so here's what happens for many people. They're a 72 degree in their identity in terms of money or success or happiness. And they get into a business that's capable of providing 80, 90, 100, 150, 200 degrees of all of those things. And they start to maybe get it. And then the air conditioner turns on and cools it right back down, and they get out of it what they believe they're worth and what they deserve. That's what happens over and over. It seems coincidental. My car broke down. A new recruit went to another company. Their marriage disappeared, so she's going to take a breather for a while. No, it's not all coincidental. It's because if you had a high identity, you'd have already had 3 or 4 other recruits to replace that person, knowing that was possible. What it is you're putting the air conditioner on of your life. So if you're going to get involved, and many of you are in businesses that can produce 150 degrees of wealth, abundance, happiness, bliss, whatever it might be, you had best start to work on that thermostat setting, because you will never exceed this one. Make sense? That's why you got to work on yourself. I'm going to brag for 1 minute. I'm the best person on planet Earth to help you with that, because I'm a real world applier. I know what it's like to have low self-esteem. I come from an alcoholic, dysfunctional family. I know what it's like to be insecure, shy. In fact, I got into personal development and growing myself because I had to get to just a baseline level to be a decent, functioning, average person first. And then I became addicted to the concepts. Then I started to study it. And I was an athlete, so I understood visualization, the reticular activating system in the brain, all these other things. And God gave me the ability to articulate and communicate in a way that was pretty unique. That's one. I have like 3 or 4 gifts. That's just one of them. That's all I got. I don't have IQ. I don't have great background. I don't even have great discipline, but I do have that. And I've worked on building and developing myself to that extent. And then I teach those things to people and hopefully inspire them. And so I can help you change your thermostat setting. How? Follow my social media, my YouTube, and make sure that you're somehow engaged. I have nothing to sell you, by the way. I'm really unique in this space that I got really wealthy, not selling people crap, just offering free things. So I have nothing to sell you. So there's no hook. My stuff's all free. I have one coaching program that I offer twice a year. We open it for a day and it sells out in a day. So I have nothing to sell you. I sell you that I love you, that I care about you. And Eric, the reason that I still work doing this is I love it. I love it. My life changed. You'll hear it at the event. I'll tell you how my life changed, but like, I'm in love with helping people. I enjoy it. It's not work for me. It's my home. I'm looking at the Pacific Ocean right now. I live on the beach. I'm blessed. I got a $30 million beach house right here. I own free and clear. I've got a $30 million house in the desert that's an hour and a half away. I own that free and clear. I've got an island I just bought off the coast of Portland, Maine, 11,000 feet of ocean frontage. It's the best piece of property in the United States. I just bought it free and clear. I fly there on my Global Express jet, free and clear. I bought it from Larry Ellison from Oracle. I have no debt. I owe no man nothing. I've been financially independent a very, very long time and stone-ass wealthy just about as long. Yet, I would rather be here looking into my laptop than sitting on that beach right now. Because I can look at the beach. It's great. It's beautiful. I'll go out there probably tonight and have a glass of wine with my wife, but I would rather be here helping you because this expands my being. This expands my identity. The more I do this, the more I believe I'm worthy of more abundance. The more you help people, there's something in you that changes that thermostat setting. At the event, if you're going, I'll help you change your thermostat setting. In the meantime, I'm going to help you recruit better. So let's go through a few minutes of just that. Then I'll throw it back to Eric and I. That alone will explain to you why you must grow you. So go follow me, turn your notifications on, watch my stuff. It's every day. I post at 7:30 Pacific time on Instagram every day. I'm mainly Instagram, my podcast, and YouTube. Okay, I want to give you the recruiter's mindset. How does a recruiter think? A really good recruiter. Here's what a really good recruiter thinks. You ready? Everybody wants in. They just don't know it yet. That's what a recruiter believes. They believe everybody wants in my business. They just don't know it. You know, like when you prospect people, they're kind of smirking at you like, oh. The great recruiters are smirking back. You want in, you just don't know it yet. You don't know how amazing this is. You don't know how much your life could change. You don't know how much better you feel about yourself. You don't know the difference you'd make for you and other people. You just don't know it yet. Now, what's the underlying belief for that? So the recruiter believes you want in, you just don't know it yet. I'm going to elaborate on that at the event as well. But what do you have to believe that? Here's what you have to believe. It's really simple. Everybody's life would be better in some measurable way by having an association with me and my team and my company. Let me say it to you again. Everybody's life would be better in some measurable way by having an association with me, my team, and my company. If you actually believe that, you say, well, that not everybody's going to make money. No, they're not. But could their life be better? What if just for a week they were in your business and for the first time in a really long time, they saw good people doing good things, helping people, having fun? What if just for a week, all they did was stay in your business and learn about personal development or learn about faith? Or what if just for a week in the business, someone complimented them and just said, wow, great looking shirt. You look great tonight. You know, we do that in our business, right? No one said that to them in 15 years. Great shirt. You look handsome tonight. Man, you look sharp. And they go back that night for the first time in 3 months and go, babe, you look beautiful tonight. And their marriage is just better for that one night. And then it just starts a ripple effect in their marriage. It's better. They leave your business. They never make any money. They never follow up. They never recruit anybody. Their life was better. So if you begin to predicate, some of you predicate, well, if everyone's not making money, if everyone's not winning financially, then this is just useless. That's not true. So if you could get yourself to believe that everybody's life's measurably better some way by just having an association with us, and they want that, they just don't know it yet. Now you're a recruiter. Now you're confident. Why? Certainty is influence. Certainty is influence. The most certain person always influences the less certain person. So if you have those two belief systems, you're more certain that they should get involved than they are that they aren't, because you have more information than them. The problem for many of you, with all due respect, is they're more sure they shouldn't than you are that they should. And that's why you're not influencing people. Next thing, remember this, you're always making people feel something. So be intentional about what they're feeling. You're making them feel something about you. They don't believe it. They're insecure. They're not buying this. They're losing, or they really believe in this. And by the way, you don't have to be winning yourself to get someone to believe they could win there. Those things are not correlated. Most of the biggest recruits in the history of this industry were recruited by people who were not currently financially successful. Did you know that? Almost all of us. The person who recruited me into the industry had made $3,000 full-time in 4 years. Yet I've generated hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue in this industry. So you're thinking that if you need to be successful in order to get other people to believe that they can do this is an absolute fallacy happening in your mind. Okay? Now, a couple more things that I just want to give you on recruiting, and I'm going to talk about the rest of it at the event. You have to separate the invitation from the presentation. Too many of you are presenting as you're inviting. They are two different things. Let me give you an example. If I were single and I wanted to ask a woman, I'm not single. I met my wife in kindergarten, so I'm not an expert on being single, and I'm 50 years old. So I'm probably the least qualified person to tell you about being single. But if I were, here's what I know I wouldn't do. If I wanted to ask you out on a date, I would ask you out on a date. I wouldn't ask you to marry me when we first met. So many of you are convoluting you want to get a cup of coffee with, and by the way, do you want to win? Do you have the ear to ground for opportunity? Are you the type of person looking for upward mobility? Are you looking to make additional cash flow? Would you like to help more people? Want to get married? You freak people out. Get the invitation. Get the commitment to listen to the movie. Then give them the preview. Then they'll watch the movie. Too many of you are trying to have them watch the movie the first 10 seconds you're talking to them. That repels people. It seems desperate. Right? Just invite them. Just invite them. Now I'm really going to help you. Okay. Last thing I'm going to tell you. What's the number one objection you get when you ask somebody to take a look at your business? Let me tell you what it is. They're busy. Timing. Most people don't have the heart to go, I think you're a loser. No. Or, are you crazy? I'm way better than that. That's not what they say. Even though they might be thinking it, that's not what they say. What do people say? Oh, we've got plans, or we're really busy right now. Timing's not great, right? Isn't that what most people say? In fact, the statistics tell us that 93% of the objections people get to look at a business is timing. It's timing. They use timing as the out. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that amazing? You can distill down that the number one objection that people give you back is, we're just too busy right now. Timing's not work. I can't make it. We're busy. And they believe if they continue to tell that to you, that you'll just eventually go away, which most people do. So that's the number one objection we get to looking at our business. Now, the number one mistake you make that makes them say that oftentimes is you're trying to present when you invite. Invite to take a look. That's it. Invite, get the commitment, and then let the presentation happen at another time. The number one thing they're giving you is timing. So how do you inoculate from that? Here's how you inoculate from that. You have a warm market of people, so do your new recruits. The first thing that they should be asking people, in my humble opinion, and I know a lot about this, is, let's say your presentations, I'm just making it up right now, are Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. It doesn't matter when they are. They could be 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter. You're still going to ask for a time. Okay. The number one opening question when prospecting should always be, when someone's in their warm market, calling a warm market, is, so if I'll give you an example. My really good friend is a guy named Kelly. is one of my really, really good friends. Okay. Here's the truth. We're really good friends. He'll look at anything that I'm interested in, unless I say it really stupid. Right. So what I should say to Kelly is, because me and Kelly go to dinner, we go to a ball game, we play golf together, just like all your recruits do things with their markets. What I want to say to Kelly first is not, hey, brother, I found something I'm really intrigued by, and I'd like to share it with you. And blah, blah, blah. Now I'm into the movie. He's like, dude, what happened to you? Right. So I don't want to do that. Right. Even though it's taught in the industry all the time. That's not what I want to do, because I know 93% of the time, all he's going to do is tell me he's busy anyway. It's hard for someone to process past this point. So what I would do when I'm prospecting Kelly, if I had a new recruit and I'd say, hey, Ed Milet, you're going to contact Kelly Gwynn. I want you to text Kelly Gwynn and say, Kelly, what do you got going Tuesday at 6 o'clock? That's the text. What do you got going at blankety blank time and date? You know what Kelly's going to hit me back with? Because he thinks I'm calling to go get a pizza. He thinks we're going to a Laker game. He thinks I'm going to have him over for a bottle of wine. He's going to go, nothing, bro. Why? What's up? Oh, good. Here's what I want you to do. And you invite them. Now, his mind's scrambling for what his objection is going to be, because he already told me he was available. That's the way you invite. Pre the invite, you frame it with, what do you have going on at blankety blank time? What do you have going on at 3 o'clock on Wednesday? Nothing, man. Why? What's up? Well, bang, invite, then present. So to me, the flow of proper progression of inviting is remove the time objection. What do you got going at blankety blank time? Nothing. And even if they are booked, then, oh man, actually it's the kids' soccer game. Okay, cool. What do you got Wednesday at 3? Oh, we're open. Why? What's up? Invite, then present. So it's take the time objection away. You've eliminated 93% of the no's, then invite, then present. And I believe if you'll begin to do that more with yourself and your recruits, you're going to find that it's very difficult to object to the invitation when it's just an invitation to look at something, especially when it's a Zoom link, that's nothing. The invitation, and you've already taken away what their objection would be, which was time, because they think they're going to do something cool with you. By the way, that's not bait and switch. That's an open question. Bait and switch is different than that. An open question is just, what do you got going? I ask my friends that all the time. In fact, it's Friday, and I did that this morning with another friend of mine, because I want to see if he wants to come over and have a cigar later. Actually, it's my guy right here. I said, Jerry, what do you got going tonight? You got anything open 6 to 8? He's like, no, man, I got nothing. I go, cool, come over for a cigar. But I could have said, cool, I want you to look at something with me. And then I would have the invite book, and then I would have done the presentation between 6 and 8 o'clock. So I hope that helps y'all. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is this. Just remember this. You were born to do something great with your life, and you know it. That's why you're on this call. That's why you're in the industry. You know intuitively there's something in you that I'm supposed to do something great with my life. I'm born to do more. There's more in me. My being is vibrating at such a point. God's calling me to do something bigger in my life. I know it. I feel it. It's in me. I can't articulate it. I don't even know the words for it, but I feel it like in my heart. When I get quiet, I know I'm capable of more. I know that I am. And I'm telling you that the first start doing that is getting the thermostat setting starting to roll upwards, 75, 78, 79, 85, 90. That happens through proximity and through association, a bunch of other things that I'll teach you. But then at the same time, it's getting skilled. It's getting great at what you do. It's becoming a professional inviter, a professional recruiter, which includes two pieces, the mindset of it and the actual day-to-day execution of doing it. The person with the biggest team ultimately wins, and the person with the biggest team is the best at executing on invitations and then developing leaders. And leaders are thermostat settings. It's a very simple formula on how to build a big team here. You got to get good at changing people's and your own thermostat settings. You got to get good at inviting for people to take a look at your business. You do those two things, you are an unstoppable force as long as you're in a good company with a good product, with a good support system. That's just the bottom line. So hopefully that helps. I'm looking forward to speaking. I'm not going to say what date and time either, but I will tell you that very, very specific stuff with me when we come. I love this stuff right here. Oh, challenge. I'd like you each to
wait. Don't do the challenge yet.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I just want to recap this because it's just golden, and I can't wait for your keynote at the GoPro event where you go deeper on these topics. And everybody's putting in the chat like, I got to go back and listen to this again. I want to recap. I got eight key things on my from his quick little talk, and I want you to put into the chat, into the comments, which one resonated for you the most. Okay. And just put the number in 1 through 8 as I go through them. Number 1 is the thermostat concept. That's number 1. Number 2, your prospects wants in, they just don't know it yet. That's the posture of a great recruiter. Number 3, everybody's life, the belief that everybody's life is going to be better by joining. That's posture again. Number 4, certainty is influence. Certainty is influence. Whoever believes the most is more certain, is going to be more influential. Number 5, make people feel something special. You're going to make them feel something positive, something intriguing for them. Make them feel something positive. Number 6, separate the invitation from the presentation. Such a great little tiny distinction, but it's monumentally huge. Separate the invitation from the presentation. You should see all the numbers flying inside of here, Ed, in the chat. It's crazy. Number 7, the people are busy because of timing. Ask the question, what do you have going on such and such a date at such and such a time? Really clean. And then when they respond to that, then you do the invitation, but don't do the presentation then. That's number 7. And number 8, you're all born to do something great. Learn the skills and get the mindset necessary to unlock all of that, to be able to make it all happen. So, Ed, first of all, thank you for bringing some value today. I really, really appreciate it. And I've wanted to have you in our world for a long time. The value that you bring is just enormous, and I'm sure everybody's going to be following you on all the various platforms and listening to the podcast. Do that if you want to get this type of mindset training from this man. So throw
Eric,
your
one thing about you. I just want to make sure I reciprocate something. I didn't do this justice. I've been listening to you, Eric, and your stuff has been shared with me prior to me even existing on social media. I've only been on there about 5 years. I did that very reluctantly. It's sort of the bequest of Tony Robbins. But your work has made it, and by the way, even when you listen to me teach things, that the more people listen to me, they're going to go, wow, he has listened to Eric. So I just want to make sure that I acknowledge that with you. And I don't just say that. That's a real thing. You are revered in this space and out of this space by people that look at you on the outside and see the way that you teach things. John Wooden is really my favorite leader, really, in the sports world of all time. And the reason he's my favorite leader is he felt himself a teacher first and an inspirer second. I believe you're the greatest teacher in this space, and your work, I mean, people that I really respect that are at very high levels in multiple different organizations started to share your work with me many years ago. So I just want to make sure I acknowledge you too, brother. This is your tribe, your group. And so it's easy to kind of, take you for granted. I say that with all the sincerity in the world. You're amazing.
Well, that's very humbling, my friend. It's been fun to watch you do your thing, and that's why I do what I do, and that's why you do what you do. Is for contribution, for purpose, for paying it forward. I tried to model a little bit of my career path around Jim Rohn. Try and find somebody who says something bad about Jim Rohn. You're gonna hunt a long time. When I'm said and done, I want the world to know that we did everything we could to give value to people. So Ed, talk about the challenge. What specific challenge can you give them today that they can go take action on?
I like simple things. So I think that you can do it on your Facebook or if you want to, but I actually think I like small digestible things that you try, right? Like one thing about when I teach is I always tell people, I coach them, I go, the things I think and there's things I know. And I'll tell you the difference. Sometimes I'm going to say, I think this will work. There's other times based on my experience, I go, I know this is right. And I'll tell you the difference. I think a good leader will do that. And so I know what I'm about to tell you. If you'll just take your phone today and text 10 people individually, not in a group, what do you got going at blankety blank time? Just open that space and start that process. Now, if you want to take that and say, hey, listen, I'm going to put it in a group. Hey, what's everybody got going this weekend? Or what's everybody got going next Wednesday at 2? You could do that. But I believe individual communication oftentimes, even though I have a very big following on social media, I believe individual communication has about 10 times the power of group communication. And so DM me if you those are good things. People produce results from them and they work. So I'm not suggesting not to do that. But the power is magnified at least 10 times. When you just take that phone out today and you just go, I'm going to select these 10. And my only opening today, and it's today, is whatever your next opportunity is, or when, let's say you have a 24/7 BPM, just pick a time, right? Monday, 9:30 a.m., whatever it is, I don't care. Saturday, 10:15 a.m. What do you got going Saturday around 10 a.m.? That's it. and just see what happens. Number one, you will be replied to. You won't get ghosted. And it's going to open up the dialogue. And let's just start there and start the movement of what that means. I believe if you do that with 10 people, that there's a high likelihood that by the time you get back on the next call, you've got an active direct recruit in your business, at least one of them, potentially multiple ones. So let's just start there today. Simple, tangible, bite-sized, doable, easy challenge that if you have any intent of actually doing something with your business, you would be willing to do right now. So what do you got going at blankety blank time? 10 people text today.